Hey guys, it's Lily Slap Silly here. Boom! I know you've never seen me look like this before. So guys, a lot of people have been asking me to do a makeup tutorial, and I just thought, oh, you know what? Maybe it's time. The reason why I haven't done a makeup tutorial is because I pull the ugliest faces while putting makeup on, so there's a little bit of vanity there. I do look like I'm having a mild stroke. Occasionally, maybe I've lost like a chromosome. So it's not pretty. But I'm going to do this for you today. I've already started putting a bit of foundation on. The first thing that I want to suggest to anybody, this makeup tutorial is not for drag necessarily. I'm doing Beryl today. I'm shooting a whole bunch of videos for my fan park, which has become one of the most favorite things for me to do, to send wishes of love, of well-being, of happiness, of joy, of happy birthdays, of you getting fired, or we're having twins. So I quite enjoy the process of doing Beryl. And Beryl is the character I've chosen to do my tutorial for today because she's more of a real girl. It's not like a drag makeup. I think some of you girls out there, the real girls, can pick up a couple of tips. So enjoy. I'm just going to go, some of the tutorial, I'm going to speed it up a little bit just because like whop whop, you don't want to, you know, see the boring bits. So I'm starting off with a foundation. As you can see, I've already blotted out my eyebrows. I am not blessed with eyebrows that are up in my hairline. So those girls that have naturally high eyebrows, I hope you die in pain. I'm teasing. So I've actually found, and I'm also not going to mention every single product and do all that stuff like the little Instagram queens that are 12 years old and don't need much help, and 1200 ring lights. So talking about lighting, guys, lighting is the most important part. Try and find light that is even. So if I switch my camera around, well, it won't. So sorry for you. There's just a window. So it's flat light. I can literally look at somebody and go, well, okay, you did your makeup and your bedroom window is on the right-hand side or your bathroom window is on the left, because that side's normally the side that's slightly heavier. So try and make sure the light is even. And if you can, get a ring light. They're pretty fun and they're easy to plug in and use. It's not a complicated process. So I'm going to start off with Wet n Wild. I've come up with a foundation stick. This color is called Golden Honey. And then I've also got a color called Golden Tan. So Golden Tan, I think I'm going to go in with a bit of... I'm already sounding like one of those makeup tutorial people. Obviously, I am going in. I'm going in, obviously, because it's drag. It's a little bit heavier than normal. Remember, all of this is going to be blended out. So this is just a strong foundation that I know can last for most of the day. I'm going to be working between my camera and I'm going to be working between my mirror. You see, I'm already starting to pull those faces that I hate. So you give yourself a full coverage. I've had lots of problems with eczema, and I'm on omega-3s and a lot of zinc to sort the eczema out, which has worked like a bomb. This whole side of my face at one point was eczema, all the way across my chest was eczema. So zinc, omega-3s, and a probiotic. Apparently eczema really starts in the gut. I'm going to blend this down into the neck a little bit. So I'm just putting a bit of product here, and you'll see that I'm going to take it down just now with my sponge. Don't forget your lips. I'm quite messy at actually applying makeup. I don't have a very neat way of putting it on, as you can see already. So yeah, just bear with me. This is not makeup that you would do before you go to work. Okay, this is for drag, but there are a couple of great tips here that real chicks can use. And you'll notice that Beryl doesn't actually wear that much makeup. Beryl's, she's got a face on, but it's not insane. I'm going in for one of these sponges, which we all know. Mine's a flat side, and I've got a corner side for all the good bits in the middle. And it is slightly damp. Squeeze the water out, and that will give you a nice, even blend when you start. And you'll see I'm using a patting motion just to get it into all the good bits. Mix is also a product by Wet n Wild. This one's called Chestnut. You can see it's slightly darker. I'm not going to plug them too much, but thank you, Wet n Wild, because this is actually a great product and it blends really well. So I always contour looking straight onto the camera because that's pretty much going to be most of my shots. I'm literally feeling underneath my natural cheekbone, and I'm just cutting underneath the natural cheekbone with the corner. Same on that side. And again, you'll see I'm facing the front. As you get older, these things start to, I don't know what they're called, but they've got to go. But these things start to hang a little bit. So you'll see I'll go slightly higher in this area here. And also to feminize the face, you take it a little bit tighter near the bottom. A little on the temple, across the top. Again, this depends if you're wearing a wig that is a lace front wig, so people will see the hairline. I'm not today, but it does have quite a big fringe, gap where the fringe is, so I'm doing that. Okay, and now something that I think I've invented because no one else has done this. A lot of people spend hours with a fine brush trying to get the perfect nose contouring. And to be fair, guys, I really don't think contouring is for your average woman in the street. I think it's too much. So if you can find a very light way of doing it, a liquid foundation. I'm using Rimmel, Wet n Wild. I'm just talking like sort of normal shop bought stuff here. We're not looking at, there's very few things here that are from the brands, from the big name brands. So I just use what I can get. Crayolan is one of my go-tos. So there are a few items from Crayolan, which is really theatre makeup. But when you're choosing a foundation, go and try it on your face and move out of the store and go and look at it in a mirror in the real light so you know this is what you're looking for. It really should be almost identical to your skin, or maybe just one shade lighter than your skin. And foundation changes in winter and summer. You probably will find you need a different foundation in summer if you naturally just get some kind of face color, which I don't because I'm albino. But and then for the contouring, go 2 shades darker, which can also be a liquid, which you would literally put onto the tip of your sponge, and you could do what I've just done here, but it's just a little softer. It's there, it just kind of cuts the cheekbone a little bit, but it's not, it doesn't overwhelm. So because this is drag, this is what I'm doing. And guys, just don't freak out. It's just makeup. I'm amazed at how many people get so stressed out about it. It's just makeup. Just wash it off with a little bit of jip and you're good to start all over again. So to feminize the face, obviously we're bringing everything to the middle, so everything's more highlighted in the center and slightly darker around the edges. Getting to the nose that I was talking about, I've invented something. Check this out. Instead of stressing out with a brush and neatly trying to get that perfect line and you're shaking and whatever, fingertip. This is on my contour stick, my chestnut. Well, I hope this works. I'm very cocky about my invention. For me, that's already given me the perfect line. I go quite dark underneath here. So the higher you go with this contouring underneath the nose, the more shorter and nipped the nose will look. And then you just pat it into, right up into the corners. And you're still going to highlight the bridge of your nose later. So it's just a much easier way to get that straight line, because I used to fiddle for days to try and get that exactly right. Now, this seems to have worked for me. I don't mind this line being a little bit too hard because I have got a long face. And guys, if you're going to try and find makeup tutorials online, just remember I've been doing this for 25 years. When I started drag, YouTube wasn't invented. I had to look at the Horrid to get an idea of how to put makeup on with a bag of old dry Cokie pens, and off I went. So for those of you that can get access to the interweb are very lucky. Yeah, never had much of that luxury growing up. Okay, cool. So I'm feeling happy with the placement of the color. The contouring seems to be working for me. A translucent powder is your best bet, guys. So you can just set everything with the powder and it will still show through. It doesn't look like it now, because then we're going to brush this excess off. Okay, leave quite a bit underneath the eyes, because when you put your eyeshadow on, there's a lot of fall off, and you can just catch it on that powder and dust it away so you don't get a skid mark underneath your eyes. Okay, so I'm powdered for the gods. I've got 3 palettes lurking here. Doesn't matter what they are. Find a palette that works. If you're going to drop money, guys, on anything when it comes to makeup, your foundations, sorry, that's Barry, how's the big fly? That your foundation is where you should spend the money. You know, I do believe that you should prep your skin really well, so moisturize, tone, moisturize, and cleanse, and then leave your skin for a while, because you don't want your skin to have too much moisture when you're putting any makeup on, because it won't stay for the whole day. Pat it dry, maybe just with the paper towel, and then leave it for a while, have a cup of coffee, and then start your foundation. Primers are great. I think the older you get, the more you should use a primer. What a primer essentially does is really prepares the skin for the makeup, and it makes the pores of your skin slightly tighter, which makes the skin look smoother, which makes you look so much younger. I already primed before I started doing this vodka, so I'm good to go. Okay, so I'm going to go with a kind of I'm wearing a burgundy top today for Beryl. So in this palette here, I'm going to actually start lurking around this kind of area here. This palette is by Paul Vida. It's a Kat Von D, and it is from Beauty Gifts by Melanie, one of the most amazing online stores, and it's South African, guys, so go and support Beauty Gifts by Melanie. I can pretty much do my whole beak out of this this palette. So I'm going in with a brush that looks like that. It's nice and soft. It's great for getting into this area here. Let me speak about the lid area. I'm old, so these lids want to start doing this with their lives. Check. And it can stay there. Brushing can tend to, literally the skin moves with the brush. So what happens is when you start brushing on any color or pigment, it leaves like little creases there. Not great. So what I tend to do is I start off by stippling, just patting it in, and then I brush afterwards to blend it. You'll check. So I tend to go for my color first, the color that the audience or you want your boss or boyfriend to see. Is the color that I'll go in with first, and then I'll start taking it to the darker colors later, just for more of a pop. So I'm literally just patting it on, just on that crease. I'm trying to create some kind of crease because mine doesn't exist anymore. I work from the outside in, so I can always go to the outside to pick up more pigment and move it to the center. So this is just placing your color, whatever color you choose. This is literally just placing it and setting it into a position that you're happy with. I haven't drawn my brows on yet. Some people have done them by now. I prefer to draw them on a little bit later because I don't know how high I'm gonna go with my color. I decide that kind of as I'm going. So I've literally just placed pigment over there. That is literally what, as I say, the audience is going to see. And this burgundy color is kind of going to work with the top that I plan on using for Beryl today. So once she's in position and you want to blend her a little bit, it's okay now. With the same brush, you don't need to dip into more product. It's just blend her out a little bit. Be very soft. I'm quite butch that I used to tend to start wiping all the foundation off. I used to press too hard. Just keep it light, keep it gentle, and you can keep on blending until it's as soft as you want to be, or you can add more product if you want to keep going a little bit harder. Whatever's left on my brush now, I like to go slightly down the nose bone. Not making too much of a movie about it. Just kind of let it carry on through. It doesn't do that much as far as contouring goes, but it just lets the color flow a little bit. And then I dip back in and I just do quite a smudgy line because I'm going to go a little bit smoky of the same color underneath the eye. It's a good idea to get into your eyeliner and pop that on now, because sometimes this can be really irritating to your eyes should it get into the waterline. So I'm going to just smack some eyeliner on. You'll notice I go from the center of the corner of the eye where the water duct is, I take it up and out to the side a little bit just to round that eye off. But that's what it is. I'm going in with the Crayola black. I have to say, as far as black, white and brown, sort of, they've got something called TV brown from Crayola is one of the, oh gosh, let me show you that. It's one of the, for me, the best products. It just sits, it lasts. Beryl has quite a smoky eye, so I'm going quite low down with this, and then I will blend out a little bit later. I find that when I've just been fiddling with my eyes, it's quite wet down here. So I've got to let it just dry a little bit, because you don't want to start moving this around when it's wet. And I'll touch all that up a little bit later. Okay, now I'm going to sort of cut the crease, as they say. But Beryl doesn't really go that high with the crease, so there's quite a lot of overfall over here on the lid, as you can see. I'm not worried about that, we're going to work that later. So this is literally just giving a bit of definition. I'm going for this brush, and I'm going to start working that into that area over here. Again, you'll see I start off by stippling because of the old ageness, and this is really going to get rid of that hanging lid that I was talking about. Getting rid of the hanging lid. It's always weird, because you'll find that as you start doing makeup, you'll realize most people, unless you're a supermodel, and not even them, have got one eye that's shape is completely different. So you'll slowly figure out which eye you think is your best eye, like your best side, and then try and match the other eye up to that. So sometimes you'll go slightly higher on one eye or slightly lower, depending on which eye is doing what. So that's really starting to come together a little bit there. If you look closely, you can still see the balance of the color underneath, which was that aubergine color that I went for, that maroony color, which will make sense when you see Beryl's bluish. Okay, so this is again just placement, just done, literally just place the color. Now I'm happy to start using a rubbing blending moment, because I know the colors there, and I'm not going to get those little creases where you, it's almost as though the brush is ramped over the wrinkle and it leaves little white lines where the wrinkle is, because the skin is literally moving with my brush. So I might have to go and visit Dr. Lionel Judaica, and he can take a couple of meters of flesh off there. So I've just picked up a little bit of that aubergine again, just so that, this is my audience color, just so that that makes sense. Guys, these are great brushes, by the way, Wet n Wild. They should pay me. These are really good brushes. They've just got a set of really good, I know they look cheap because of the white, but they are fab brushes, and they've got a great blending brush for liquid foundation, so check them out. Alright, at this point my eye underneath is dried up a little bit, so I'm going to just take this brush and just blend through there. So this, she's still got pigment on, I don't need to dip it back into the palette, just to soften that line, just a fraction, not too much, because that's not Beryl's look. She is not shy. for a dark eye underneath. But at this point, I feel ready I kind of have a gist of where I think the eyebrow should go. I just normally use a normal brown pencil, a dark brown. I kind of take it from in line with here, this thing here, very professional. This eye duct. I sort of match it up, so it sort of goes straight up, maybe just a little bit towards the nose. Just get a shape that you feel comfortable with. Just also bear in mind, guys, this is really more of a template. I'm going to actually go in with a very dark brown powder and just place it over this so that it lives happily and it just looks a little bit more real. Some queens spend weeks on their eyebrows. I ain't that girl. Alright, then I'm going to go in with one of these brushes. It's a very hard cut-off brush. Most of my brushes, I have to say, I get from Crayolan, because they do the best brushes that I've worked with so far. Yeah, brushes are a dime a dozen these days, so going in with quite a dark brown here. Some people try and do little hairy flicks and stripes. There's so many different eyebrow choices. For real girls, if you don't want to, you're not obviously going to glue your eyebrows down, and you've got very thin eyebrows. What I find really looks more natural is if you powder works a lot better than pencil. So sometimes take a bit of powder and try and just with a very thin brush like this, just do your shape like, and fill in the dodgy bits, or use mascara. Use your mascara wand just to lightly brush that the pigment through from your mascara wand, and you'll find, play around, because you know what, it's just makeup, as I keep on saying, it's only makeup, not gonna change your life. Check this puppy out. And I'm going to go in with a color from the palette called Esperanza from the Vida Von that palette. Yeah, or I can just use a color on this palette called, well, this one's called beige. So if it was Jeffree Star palette, it would be called toenail clippings, or scab crumbs, but no, this one's just beige. To that fucking fly that keeps landing like on my good bits. Get out! So sorry about that. Kabang. There goes the mouth. Probably the most boring video I've ever done in my life. At 20, I think I only find my sense of humor once the face is on. I like to go quite far across just because I think a nice big lid reads better on camera. But in real life, that aubergine color, I would take that slightly probably on the edge, just so that again, people can see what's going on there. I'm also going to take the corner of this brush and just lightly go underneath the brow, just so that the brow is cut and pops a little bit. pencil called Bone. It's like a cream bone beige color, and I like to just use this brush just under the brow, this pencil just under the brow, just to really define that brow a little bit more for me. Just a thin pencil line. I don't know if you can see if it's doing anything, but it really is. It's really like cutting this brow so tight and it's so amazing. Oh my god, I'm like dying. I'm just like dying for that. It's like snatch to the gods. Right, now I'm quite happy to take just a little smidge of that burgundy color and just blend over the whole lot. Just very lightly, not even putting much product on. Just to soften the whole look. And I'm sure some of you are thinking, soften? Yes, she calls that soften. It's drab, darling. It's drab. And then also, just to finish my nose off, it's a little contour thing, brown on one side, white on the other. I like to just get a little line going down the middle, literally on the bone, just to make that pop. What the fuck? Okay, let's go. A little glue on the finger. Some queens like to use a highlighter, a shiny highlighter. I think when you start getting into anything shiny, the older you get, the more dangerous it gets. I'm ready to go into the cheeks now, guys. I'm using a, well, I ain't using the damn thing. Oh, here it is. A brush like this. It just seems to get color where I need it. Remember, you've got your contouring there already. So this would go slightly above the contouring onto the cheekbone. And because I've got a long face, I don't go too high up with it. I keep it kind of center so I can cut the face in half. And I take it down onto the chin line area, just so that it's not just cheek, just jack, 2000, a little bit underneath. Right, and at this point, you're ready to dust off the excess powder in areas that has been lurking. I'm ready for mascara, good old fashioned. A little bit of a jiggly caliente to get into all the good bits that are right against the lid. I don't do lashes, folks. Sometimes I do them for shows, but I think I'm blessed enough to have long enough lashes to get away with not wearing lashes. But there are ways you can cheat lashes by a liquid liner on the lids and all sorts of stuff, which you can go to some other tutorial to figure that out. The lips, guys, I'm just using a dark brown, the same pencil I've been using everywhere. Most real people have one side of the lip that's slightly smaller than the other side. The face is really divided in four. You'll find sometimes people have a slightly smaller eye here and a lip that wants to be thin this side, or vice versa. So you can start fixing that with with a liner. It'll do the trick. I just put it on in the center, old school style. Nothing clever about that. Get product on there. Then with the lip brush, that's a nice, good, strong lip brush. Again, it's from Kugel, and it's genuine sable, apparently. Yes, man. What, Micey? She's coming together. She's starting to look like a real girl. Hey, girl. All right, and then just on the apple of the cheeks, I'm gonna put a little bit. See how more camp I get as soon as the makeup comes on. Just a little bit of a softish kind of pink over here. Just because she can. This fucking fly is back. Okay guys, I'll be back shortly with the full look. Boom, here she is. How's it guys? Beryl Cohen, how are you? I'm fine, my Kugel. Thanks for coming to watch this tutorial today. I'm finished. I look divine. Thanks for doing my makeup, Lily Slap Silly. You are outstanding.